Hi, ladies. Today is May 8th. Happy Friday. And today for our CGI lesson, we're going to be on page 25. It is week 5, day 5. So you are in that new packet on that very first week within your packet, which is going to be week 5. Again, day 5, page 25. Lots of 5s today. All right, so we're going to be switching things up a bit. The last couple days, we've been working on adding and subtracting money and figuring out different totals of money and lining up decimals. Today, we're going to be talking about fractions. So Katie has some cookie batter. It was way too runny, so she decided to add 7/8 of a cup of flour to make it thicker. She used a total of 2 cups of flour. How much did she put in the batter first? Okay, so basically we've got this bowl of batter. She's already put some flour in, but it's too runny, so then she adds an additional 7/8 cup. And inside of that bowl is 2 cups of flour now. And we want to know the amount of flour in the bowl to begin with. So the question that we are going to be asking ourselves today is how much batter or how much did she put in batter first? So how much, before anything else was added in, how much flour was in that bowl to begin with? And then in order to figure that out, we need to know how much is in there now. Okay, so after she put all of the batter into the bowl, she had a total of 2 cups of flour. Okay, so she used a total, so we know our total, a total of 2 cups of flour. So she decided that after she had already put a little bit of flour into the bowl, it was too runny, so she wanted to add 7/8 of a cup of flour to make it thicker. So how much put in the bowl first? How much batter was in there to begin? So let's ask ourselves, is the amount of flour that's in the bowl to begin with going to be larger than 2 cups or less than 2 cups? Okay, so asking ourselves that again, think about that bowl. In that bowl, after she's completely done, there's 2 cups of flour. Okay, so before she added any more flour in, was there more than 2 cups of flour or less than 2 cups of flour? All right, so at this point, we need to ask ourselves, what do we know about this problem? Okay, we already know total. Think about how you can kind of create that part whole in order to create a visual for this problem. Think about kind of what we did the other day about, how much, how can we use that part whole in order to solve the problem? If I know my whole, but I don't know one of my parts, how can I use information to help me? If I know my 2 parts, but I don't know my whole, how can that help me as well? So let's ask ourselves, do we know our whole? Inside that bowl, do we know how much total flour there is? If we do, how can we use the amount that she added to the bowl to help us figure out that missed amount? All right, so go ahead, you're gonna pause that video, solve, make sure that you do your check section, figure out what your equation is and your answer with your unit, and then once you're finished, you can unpause and we'll solve together. Hi ladies, all right, so Katie is making some cookies and she put some flour into the bowl and it was still a little bit too runny, so then she added 7/8 flour to the bowl. Now inside the bowl she has a total of 2 cups of flour. We want to know how much was in the bowl to begin with. So let's think about how we can represent this. So we know that inside the bowl is a total of 2 cups of flour. Okay, so here's our bowl. We know that inside this bowl is a total of 2 cups of flour. We also know that she adds 2 parts of flour, the first part and the second part. The second part was at 7/8, okay? So this is how much is in there to begin with. This is what she puts in first. This is what she puts in second. And this is a total of 2 cups, okay? We want to know how much flour was in the bowl to begin with before adding in those 7/8 cups. So 7/8 and 2 are both cups. We have the exact same amount or the same unit. We know that we have our whole. if we have our whole, we don't want this to get any bigger. That first amount needs to stay smaller than 2 cups because our total is 2 cups. We can't go any higher than that. So we want to find the difference between these two amounts in order to figure out this amount, because these two added together is going to give me 2 cups. These two subtracted is going to give me my other part. So when we have a whole number and a fraction, you want to make sure that you're lining up your numbers correctly so that you're solving it correctly. Let me find it. All right. So in order to solve this problem, we want to start with those 2 cups, all right? And we're going to be subtracting 7/8. So we have no wholes in 7/8. So I'm going to use 0 as my placeholder, and then 7/8 is going to go next to it because it's the fraction. But remember, there's nothing here. We don't have anything there yet. But I can't take nothing minus 7/8. That's like taking, you know, all this candy in my hand, which is nothing, and taking 10 pieces. I can't do that because I don't have anything. So what I have to do is borrow from my whole number. So I'm going to turn this 2 into a 1. And then I want to figure out what my fraction can be here, okay? I want this 1 plus whatever this fraction is to equal 2. So we know 1 plus 1 is 2. So I want this fraction to be the equivalent to 1 whole. In order to do that, I need to look down here at my denominator. I'm going to use this number as my numerator and my denominator, okay? Because if I used a different number like 4/4, then I would have to find a common denominator, and I don't want to have to do that because it's super easy for me just to say 8/8 is 1. So 1 plus 1 gives me 2, but instead I just broke it apart. So now I can subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. My denominator stays the same. 1 minus 0 is 1. So the amount of flour that was in the bowl to begin with was 1 1/8. So what I'm going to do to check my work, again, just go backwards. 1 1/8 plus 7/8 should equal 2. So 1 1/8 plus, and remember, you line up your fractions and your whole numbers. Okay, so there's no whole number here, so I can use 0 as a placeholder. 1 plus 7 is 8. Denominator is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. We know 1 8/8 is the same as 2. I can also draw a picture. So I can do 2 wholes and break them into 8 pieces. Squares, rectangles, whatever is easier to draw. So use whatever visual you want, whatever shape. So I have 1 1/8 already used. So 1 whole circle is going to be filled in. And then 1 out of 8. Okay. Then I'm going to represent that 7/8. So the red is 1 1/8. And then the orange will be 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And those two quantities put together gave me 2 cups. So for my answer, the amount of flour that was in the bowl to begin with is 1 1/8 cup. Okay, because our unit is cups. And then what I did to solve this problem was I took 2 and I subtracted 7/8, which gave me 1 1/8.